Hi everyone. Overall, it was another positive session for the stock market. We're going to go ahead and use the generic website FinViz, which is one of my preferred websites to watch throughout the day. It's easier than running all my applications, and considering that whenever my application's over, it makes me want to do some intraday trading, which historically has been proven to not work for me. Based on just my personality type. So with the low win loss pain gain ratio, we do not do that. But as you can see, the lows were set around 2 p.m. and we tried to test those at 4 p.m. But stocks found support ahead of the lows. So overall, it gave it a nice little trend up off the lows of the day. Overall, we finished higher than where not where we opened, but higher than those intraday lows of the morning hours during the 9:30 to 10 a.m. part of our day. So overall, I have to say that today was an excellent pullback in the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P 500. On top of that, now that we go back to our regular charts, you'll see volume was lower than the day before on the Nasdaq and on the New York Stock Exchange. While it was slightly, the price was up, you can see volume was lower on the S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the Russell 2000 was ahead today by 0.17%. And as you can see, that gives the relative strength line a new high short term. And so that's good to see whenever the Russell 2000's leading. NASDAQ is also holding up better than I believe what the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down today, leading the way down from all the other indexes. So perfect, perfect, perfect lining up. Dow Jones was the weakest, Russell 2000 was the strongest, NASDAQ S&P 500 in the middle. That's just how you want to see it. Another positive sign about today's pullback, I have absolutely no full sells and absolutely no partial sells. And considering that we have a very full portfolio with about 50 stocks in all three of my portfolios spread out amongst the three portfolios, most of them. A lot of them are duplicated though. That's an extremely high number of holdings, and it's basically a byproduct of not being able to get extremely heavily invested at the start of the rally due to lack of amazing long signals, amazing chart patterns, and volume confirming the initial start of the rally. Because as you can see here, whenever the rally started in November, volume was extremely low, and leading up to the gap up, volume was extremely low on the selling. That was the one positive going into January. But as we moved up, you can see the initial trend from January to February. We didn't get strong volume to the end. Then we started to pull back on heavy volume. Then we rallied from February to April, as you can see here, on below average volume. And then after the next leg down in April, we finally started to rally on above average volume. And as you can see here on a weekly, you are starting to get some green bars above the above average volume. Yellow line in the middle of the screen, but the New York Stock Exchange continues to drift lower. So it'd be nice to see a pullback and then heavier volume coming to the market. That'd be really bullish. But as of now, everything's fine. No need to overlook it. There's plenty of stocks also that are setting up in great consolidation patterns. FURX is just setting up in a very, very solid base pattern right now. Very big cup forming right now. I would absolutely love to see a handle. And if you're not familiar with this stock, you can see right here, FURX has some amazing earnings and especially sales growth recently. So definitely one to watch as we move on. And how about AMBA doing exactly what I told you it would do? What a stock, folks. What a amazingly, amazingly tricky stock. Initial long signal wasn't taken, and that's my fault. Should have taken it right there. If we would have done that, we would have been able to hold on. Second signal cut me out, and then the third signal cut me out, and now here we have a buyable gap up and then a hold throughout the rest of the session. Wow, wow, wow. What a tricky, tricky, tricky stock that has made me feel very humbled, but wow, look at it go. And HLF, Herbalife, this is why you never let opinions rule over price. Whether you believe Herbalife is, a scammy company like I personally do, and even based on the information you get, it doesn't mean it's an outright scam if it is a scammy kind of business proposition. They pretty much laid on the table what it is. So, you got to, take it for what it's worth. But Herbalife breaking out to new highs is a perfect example of why your opinions never matter and why price is all that matters. Boy, oh boy. So if you're short off the initial drop right here, you now have a 31% move against you, 62% on 2-to-1 margin. So no good, no good. Also today, CARB, nice move off the 50-day moving average. If it had some big earnings growth with the decent sales growth, it might be a long position. But as you can see, the chart pattern is never a really smooth chart pattern anyway, a choppy pattern, so I don't feel bad on passing out on that. And then look at these solar stocks. Look at JSO. Look at that, just huge, huge, huge moves. SPWR, SCTY continues. And then HSOL, if this is going to continue, those leaders should do well. But what would be really nice if these smaller stocks could like base out and then give us like a pocket pivot point signal or consolidate a little bit and then break out of a handle pattern, especially like YGE. I mean, especially with all the accumulation, there's no doubt to think that this is just the start. I mean, huge accumulation here. Nice lower volume consolidation pattern, a more huge accumulation on the right side. So it's hard for me to think that this is it, that it's all over for these stocks. And who's to say Solar City can't hit 200? It's at 51 right now. And SPWR can't hit 100 or 50. You know, it's at 22 right now. And then who's to say that JKS can't continue to break out, and LDK and YGE can't become double-digit stocks, especially with all that accumulation. And then you look at MY and DANG off the bottom on that huge accumulation, along with Baidu, which is actually of quality, and EDU moving out of China, with YINN and CAF breaking out, and it just looks really good on China also. And also in the metals area, look at Polycore bouncing off the bottom. This is always a stock that I like to follow. It's got a lot of momentum potential in it. And XME, the metals, metals and mining stocks, you can see producing a pocket pivot point buy signal by the 50-day moving average. So there's a lot of positive action out there, so there's no reason to definitely be top calling here. And with that note, we actually have two new longs tonight, both in the IPO arena, Taylor Morrison Home Corporation. And before we look at those charts really quick, I want to show you that like FURX, TMHC, look at the earnings and sales growth, especially look at the sales growth really starting to pick up. 2014 estimates are strong. And then the other long, and look at the earnings per share rating, 99. And look at LOCK. LOCK's got a little bit spottier earnings growth, as you can see here, but look at the 2013 estimates. That means that the next quarter and the next quarter for 2013 is going to start to show some big growth, and 2014 has it grown 41% on top of that. And look at this nice steady sales growth, and look at how it gets bigger from 18 to 31 to 49%. Overall, it's just a great looking setup. Mutual fund growth went from nothing available to 71 to 91, so we'll probably hit triple digits coming up here. But TMHC, going back to the chart, you can see a pocket pivot point buy signal. Even though it's hard to tell here, volume is very heavy compared to any of the volume during May. So that is an excellent, excellent signal. We do not risk much if we're long. The low a day is the first cut loss, or your final cut loss if you have a low risk tolerance. If you have a higher risk tolerance, those May lows right over here will be your other one. And LOCK, this is just an absolutely fantastic chart with Max Green Bot. Huge accumulation on the initial lows back here in December. Very nice accumulation on the right side. As it sold off, volume did get heavy near the lows, but that's more of an indicative. That's more indicative of price support, especially with that intraday reversal on the ultimate low. Another test of that basically move. It had a big intraday reversal. Then extremely tight trading on low volume. More accumulation, huge accumulation, more accumulation, lighter volume as it tightens up again. And now we have more accumulation, another pocket pivot point buy signal. And that is its 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th signals since the beginning of May, or actually not the beginning of May, but since technically April 29th, April 30th. So not bad at all with all of the green in that chart, and to go along with that earnings and especially sales growth and upcoming future estimates. This was going to be a 5% position in both the risk and non-risk account. We'll be checking the options chain for the option chain for the third account, but I don't think they probably trade liquid enough, but you never know, they might be. We'll have to go see. I haven't done any research leading up to the video. And TMHC is just going to be 2%, and the risk and non-risk account, no options. We'll be trading on that one. Okay, have a great Tuesday, everyone.